If you're a cooked computer science grad, you're going to want to watch this video. I have gotten offers from Amazon and Google fresh out of college for computer science. And I don't say that to brag, but just to give you a little bit of proof and a little bit of credibility that the advice I'm about to give you does actually work. Again, you're a cooked computer science grad. Let's face it, you've been applying to hundreds of jobs on this exact GitHub repo, this 2026 new grad positions by Simplify GitHub repo. And let's face it, you're not getting any interviews. You probably didn't do any internships when you were in college, or maybe you did do an internship, like one, maybe two, but it wasn't a crazy impressive internship and like not big tech or FANG or anything like that. And for some reason, it's not even making a difference. Even with that one internship, or maybe you don't have any at all, you're not getting any interviews in this horrible job market. And that's another thing I want to touch on. This is not your fault. A lot of other people are going to say, oh, the market's fine. The market's fine. Don't listen to them. It is not your fault. Don't blame yourself, dude. The job market is genuinely garbage right now. And that is probably the main reason you're not getting any interviews. It's not your fault. But what can we do, right? We still need to pay the bills. We still need to get a job. And so let's try to focus on what we can control, right? And maybe you did have some projects on your resume, but let's face it, they were probably just projects you did in school. So in this video, I'm not going to try and sell you a course like every other influencer. I just want to try to share something that might be helpful for you. And it has to do with two things. It has to do with your resume. So I'm going to go over an example of a completely cooked resume and also a resume that's a little less cooked. And I'm also going to go over like the actual way that you apply, because what you're doing right now, again, you're probably just applying to every posting on this classic Coder Quad and Simplify GitHub repo, but that's not working, right? You've probably applied to over 100 on this GitHub repo and you're not getting any interviews at all. So I'm going to give you like a different way to apply, but that's only going to make sense once we fix your resume. So here's an example of a cooked resume. You probably have, a technical skill section, a little bit of like Java, Python, Git, maybe Docker, Kubernetes on here, maybe even React. Maybe you have a couple of projects that you did in school, and maybe you have one work experience. Maybe you did like one internship at best during your degree. Maybe this is even just like a school club. Maybe this is not even like a real work experience. It's just like some kind of club at your university. And this is probably like something similar to what your resume looks like right now, and it's pretty cooked. And the reason for that is, your technical skills section just doesn't have that many skills in there. So how are you going to make it past those automatic filters that companies use to evaluate your resume? And then projects here, these are cool and all, but let's face it, companies want people who have actually done internships during your degree, but you didn't really do many internships during your degree. And now that you're basically graduating or graduated, you can't even apply for internships anymore because those are for people who are still in school. I know it's frustrating. But again, I have a solution for you, and this is what I present to you as the less cooked resume. And this is pretty much the same thing, but there's a couple tweaks that I've made. And if you make these tweaks to your resume, you will get more interviews. I promise you that. So the first thing we've done is I've just gone ahead and overloaded this skills section of the resume over here with more keywords. And a lot of people say this is kind of unethical or controversial, but in my opinion, it's not a big deal. And a lot of other people are afraid to say that, but I'm just going to give it to you straight and give you the advice that you need to get a job as fast as possible. The truth is, companies do scan for certain keywords on your resume, so you want to have as many on there as possible. The one catch is like, don't add stuff that you're not even remotely familiar with. Try to make sure you have some sort of vague, basic understanding of some kind of tech before you add it to your resume. But as long as you know the basics, you're vaguely familiar with it, screw it, just add it to your resume. Literally just changing your technical skills section from something like this is probably what your resume looks like right now, to something like this with this dense ass keyword section will get you more interviews. I guarantee you that. And everyone I know that got into companies like Amazon and Google, including myself, use this strategy. Is like everyone just does this, is part of the game. And once you do get an interview, then you can go into like cram interview prep mode and try and like brush up on these tools just in case you get asked about them in an interview. All right, the next thing has to do with your work experience. So I'm just going to give you a little hack. If you don't have much work experience, and you mainly just have, a couple projects on your resume, what we're going to do is we're just going to push these into the experience section of your resume and use your projects as experience. And we're just going to change it from work experience to experience. So again, a lot of people have a work experience section and then a project section, but the hack kind of like I literally just call it a hack to make it seem like you have more work experience. It's just combine the projects with the work experience and just call it experience. And remember, recruiters are only spending 5 to 10 seconds skimming a resume anyways. So they're not even gonna really realize that, these are projects under the experience section and not like real companies that you worked at. And over here, you would literally just put the name of the project instead of the company name. Let's say this, obviously this is a stupid example. Let's say it was like a calculator app. Obviously, I hope your projects are, more complex than that. Maybe this is like a to-do list app, right? Again, just a silly example. Projects should definitely be more complex than that. So again, this would be the company name. Maybe this is some random company you interned at, or maybe this was like some sort of school, like programming club that you were a part of. That's a genuine experience that you can put on your resume. And over here, you just put your projects. And then that way, just so it's not lying, you change it from work experience to just experience. And this one trick, I know it sounds simple, will actually get you more interviews. Again, add more keywords to your resume, just fluff it up like I've done over here, and also go ahead and just push your projects into the work experience section. This will get you more interviews, and it's going to be a better strategy than just mass applying on this simplify repo, which is, I know that's exactly what you're doing right now. And the other tip that I have for you is the way you actually apply. So what you're doing right now is you're just applying to the positions on this GitHub repo, maybe LinkedIn as well. But that just doesn't work anymore, right? You've been doing that for the past couple months and it hasn't been working. So the new strategy that's working these days in 2026, and is how I got into Amazon and Google, is something called cold email. And this is when you just directly email recruiters. So you need a way to actually get the email address of a recruiter, and you need to know what to say in the email when you're reaching out to the recruiter, because you're basically going to ask them to give you an interview. And I know this feels kind of overkill, right? Like it feels like our degree should be enough, but in the garbage job market that is 2026, we got to be the ones just directly reaching out to the recruiters. So I have a full 13-page guide on cold email. Again, it's free. I'm not trying to sell you a course or anything. Just leave a comment if you want this and I'll drop a link or something. And again, it's pretty detailed, but I want to go over to this template section over here, because this is what you need to say in the email, right? So the subject is just going to be something like new grad SWE and then the company name, maybe like Google or something like that. I'm going to show you how to cold email a Google recruiter in just a moment. And you would say, hey, John, I noticed you recruit for engineering at Google and I'm especially interested in backend roles, maybe. You can say I'm a new grad from, whatever school you went to, seeking an early career software engineering role. And then you drop a couple of quick highlights of the 2 most impressive bullet points on your resume. Try to make sure it's a bullet point that has some kind of numbers or metrics or quantitative impact in there. And then you say, hey, if you're the right contact, could you point me to the best position, or rec is what they call it, to apply to, or the right recruiter for these roles? I've attached my resume as well. Make sure it's a PDF. That's a big one. And just say thank you so much. Super simple. And this part right here is probably the most important part of the email. You want to make sure that this recruiter that you email can actually forward this email to the right recruiter. Because let's face it, companies have tons of recruiters. You might not know which recruiter to actually reach out to. So in your email, what you do is you just say, hey, can you put me in touch with the right recruiter just in case you're not the right contact? And this sounds simple, but it actually worked for me to get into Amazon and Google. When I was cold emailing these recruiters, I didn't know which recruiters to reach out to, because if you look on LinkedIn and you search something like early talent or recruiter, look at all these recruiters that there are, right? It's kind of confusing as to which recruiter you're actually supposed to reach out to. But the good news is that these recruiters can actually forward your email to the right recruiter and really put you in touch with the right person. And this did work and got me into Amazon and Google. So how do you actually get the recruiter's email address, right? So there's a simple Chrome extension you can install. It's called Apollo. Go to the Chrome Web Store. It's completely free. Just search Apollo and install it. And what you do is you type in something like early talent or university recruiter, right? Because this video is for people going for new grad roles, people who have been using this GitHub repo over here. And so there's a bunch of recruiters here, but let's just click on this woman over here. She's an early career recruiter at Google. Here's her profile. You click this button over here. Once you have the Apollo extension installed, you're going to get this button pop up on any website you're on. And then boom, it shows me this recruiter's email address, her work email, which is like at google.com, and her personal Gmail, which is pretty crazy. You could even check for phone numbers, but that's kind of creepy. Don't do that. I also would not recommend emailing their personal email. That could also be kind of creepy. Keep it professional and just email their work email. And you just use this template over here. And again, this is going to yield way better results than just mass applying on LinkedIn or like mass applying on this freaking GitHub repo over here. Obviously, you should still be sending out applications, but for every job that you apply to, once you submit your application, go to that company's LinkedIn page. So this is Google's LinkedIn page. Find one or two recruiters and email them. And do this, and I promise you will get more interviews. Rather than like one option is just to just send out normal applications, and the other option is keep sending out applications. But after you submit every one, go ahead and reach out to one or two recruiters at the company using this email template over here. I promise this will get you more interviews. This is literally what got me into Amazon and Google. And so I've given you the template to say, I've shown you how to find the recruiter's email. This is her email over here. That's pretty much all you need to do. Go ahead and try this and let me know and leave a comment if you found this helpful. And if you want one-on-one guidance from me, I've gotten into Amazon and Google, as well as my entire team. Everyone on my team has gotten into companies like Google, Amazon, Meta, Netflix. If you want one-on-one guidance from us with your resume, how to apply, how to send these cold emails, even one-on-one mock interviews with us, click that link below and just book a call with me. We can have a quick chat and we can really see if you're a good fit for our program or not. And we actually guarantee that you get a big tech offer at like a FANG level company by the end of our program. And if you don't, then you literally get a full refund. We will literally refund every single penny that you paid to join the program. So again, click that link below, book a call with me, and we can see if you're a good fit. And if you're looking for, a couple more YouTube videos to watch where I go over how to really fix your resume, how to actually reach out to these recruiters in the right way, YouTube's gonna put some other videos up on the screen soon. Go ahead and check those out as well. Also, make sure to click that link below and book that call with me, and I will talk to you soon.